Well, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't get that, Facebook Live is having some issues this morning. Good morning, Steve Collins coming to you from rainy San Antonio, Texas. The second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Hope you guys are doing great today. Storytime Sunday, in which Steve tells significant stories of spiritual, supernatural stuff to inspire success in your life. So many of you guys know Angela and I have 7 kids. Several would probably be shocked to learn that we could possibly have 9. And the reason for that is that she and I experienced, in the last 22 years of our marriage, 2 miscarriages. So the 2 miscarriages that we experienced were very challenging for us because, you know, obviously we love kiddos. We loved the idea of having a big family. We loved bucking the system and just going with what we felt, what was in our hearts, that we were looking forward to as having a large family. And the challenge that we had with this was we had our 4 oldest with us at the time, 5 actually. We had our 5 oldest. And we remember how devastating the season was when we found out about the miscarriage. And let me tell you what, from the moment that the little line was blue with every child, from the moment we knew she was going to have a baby, we began building relationship. And what do I mean by that? Unlike some political folk, I happen to believe an old ancient text that says, before I was formed in my mother's womb, he knew me, and that I was fearfully and wonderfully made and knit together in my mother's womb. And actually, I heard something my brother wrote recently. If you read the Bible, it's interesting. It says that when Elizabeth, who is John the Baptist's mother, came upon Mary, who is Jesus' mother, they were both pregnant. Elizabeth says to Mary, "Whoa, when I saw you, the baby in my womb leaped at the joy of the baby in your womb." And there was a connection already. They were already identifying them. It was the first human independent response John the Baptist had, being in the presence of Jesus. Very exciting, cool stuff. Read it for yourself. It's a neat story. That being said, we began building relationship immediately. How so, you may say? Well, they talk about it. You know, you have scientists and researchers who say, if you play Beethoven, if you play Chopin, if you play this type of music and put the headphones on the mama's belly, that the babies can hear sounds and such. So from the moment we found out she was pregnant, every time we began talking to that baby. We began speaking life over that baby. We began saying amazing things about that baby. We began to say things like, we can't wait to see you. We're so excited. You're going to be so blessed. You're going to have an amazing life. We love you. We receive you. We declare health over you, prosperity, faith, love. And we would just say, hey, baby, how you doing? Just as if the child was there with us from the time the 2 lines were blue. From the moment we knew, we began daily conversation. And as we had children, we continued that same thing. You know, there's a lot of research on when a child is born, the child before that child can become a little wigged out or feel left out or intimidated. And the way that we overcame that was we involved our children. So every time Angela would get pregnant with another child, it was a family thing for us to all have everybody gathered together at different times of the day, usually in the morning, and then of course at night before we went to bed. You know, they'd all jump on our bed and they'd lay their hands on the tummy and they'd say, hey, how you doing? It's your big brother. It's your big sister Tori. Love you. And so we began developing a relationship. And I remember because we were on vacation and we had been doing this for about a month. 30 days straight of relationship building, 30 days straight of conversation plus. And Angela came back from the restroom and she said, something's not right. And we both have been through this a couple times, you know, before with other people where we understood what to look for and we were concerned. So when we came back from vacation, we discovered that was her, and she had a miscarriage. And the challenge for us as adults was obviously it was hard for us, and yet as adults we could process our feelings. And yet for our children who had been connecting for a month, it became a very tough conversation. to have among them and to talk about that, as you can imagine. So I remember distinctly, Angela and I were in the bathroom one morning after we had gone through and had conversations with the kiddos, and we were literally discussing in our room with the bathroom door closed and our bedroom door closed. We were in the bathroom brushing our teeth, and we were discussing, and Angela was saying, I think maybe this is it. We have 5 children, and what do you think? I said, yeah. I said, I think so. I think I'm ready to say, let's call it. And she said, yeah, you got 2 little beautiful boys, 2 beautiful girls, and 3 beautiful girls, and so I think we're good. What do you think? I said, yeah, I think we're good. So we get a little knock on our door about 10 minutes later, and it's my son Stephen, who at the time was probably 6 or 7 years old, maybe 6. And he comes in, and he's just waking up, and he's stretching in his little tighty whities, with the shirt off. And we said, Stephen, how are you doing this morning? He goes, good. He said, God told me you're going to have a baby boy named Joshua. And we said, what did you say? He said, God told me you're going to have a baby boy named Joshua. And he doesn't talk like this. It was the first time we remember him saying this. We said, really? And he said, this morning, he told me. And we were like, just looked at each other like, this is so crazy, because we were just talking about how we're done. And we kind of just took a deep breath like, okay, interesting. We really didn't think a whole lot of it. And then Angela says to me after he leaves, she says, you know what, Steve? She goes, this is going to sound crazy, but I'm actually a little bit late. Not a whole lot, but with what I'm going through physically and all of this, I'm a little bit late. And I'm like, there's no way. So she goes, let's just get a pregnancy test just for the heck of it. So we went and got a pregnancy test that day. Had forgot about it because, we knew she wouldn't be pregnant. We came home that night and 2 blue lines. She was pregnant when he came in and said that. So we were shocked. So we were so excited because we told the kids, guess what? Mama's pregnant again. Mama's pregnant again. And they were like, woohoo! And Stephen, in his little bitty tiny self, goes, I know, Dad, it's a little boy named Joshua. And we were like, whoa, this is kind of cool. So anyway, pregnancy goes on and the kids reconnect with the baby again. We didn't choose not to do what we had always done. We chose to go right back into that with the kids connecting and us connecting and talking to the baby every day. And we get to the point towards the latter part of her pregnancy, and we go in for the sonogram. And we always liked to know. We didn't want to be surprised at birth. We always liked to know who or what it was. That way we could begin declaring over them whatever, whatever, if we had a name for them at that time, or we began sensing things about them and call them little man or my sweet young lady. It was just important for us to know that if that was available to us, so we did that. And when we went to the doctors and they said, well, no, this is really funny. They didn't even say this. I knew it because I had already seen it 2 other times. She was going over it and I was like, boom, I know what that is. It's a boy. And she goes, well, I don't know. I said, no, I've been through this drill a couple times. That is a boy. And sure enough, she goes, yep, what do you know? It's a boy. So we come home that night, and again, for the second time, we tell the kiddos, guess what? We found out what it is today. It's a boy. And now Stephen's getting exasperated, little bitty dude. And he's like, I know. God said it was going to be a little boy named Joshua. Okay. And wouldn't you know, there was no other way in our hearts and lives that we could name little Joshua anything but little Joshua. And he was right on. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is, if at any time you are around little children and they happen to say things that seem to come out of nowhere, out of the mouths of babes and children, you never know when you might be getting a message from above. Pay attention to the little ones around you. Pay attention. Jesus even said, let the little one, the disciples are trying to hush away the kids. Get the kids away from them. Leave the master alone. He's like, no. Let the little kids come to me. Let them come to me. For the kingdom of heaven is such as these. If you guys don't accept the kingdom like these kids, you're never going to get it. So relax a little bit today. Listen to the kids' voices in your life. And you never know. Heaven might be speaking to you through one of those babies. Have a great day, guys.